When you bring yourself into the opportunity to experience the completeness of you, many, many things happen. Part of what's going on is that as you experience the completeness of you, it is colliding with your experience of real life. The completeness of you has never been expressed and experienced consistently through the physical form. You've never brought that level of awareness into the physical form. Okay, so when you do, there's this almost like the tectonic plates are scraping against each other, and you all are in a position where you're being challenged quite deeply to find your balance, to find your footing, to find how to walk the road of the completeness of you expressing in the physical form. And most of the resistance to this is coming from the idea that the completeness of you is such a change. It puts the friction, how should we say, just a moment. The completeness of you coming into physical form creates friction within you, primarily around the survival instinct. That's how we have all summarized it. But we'd like to look at this more deeply with you tonight. The idea that as the completeness of you starts to express in the physical form, you are unable to continue with life as you have. You're unable to just let things keep going on. Then when you start to confront the changes that are knocking on the door, the changes that are being requested of you, that's when the survival instinct flares up. That's when the idea that change is hard flares up. That's when you start to feel like, oh God, how much more is this going to ask of me? How much more am I going to have to do? How much more do I have to respond to and be attentive to? And what we're seeing in you is a avalanche of triggers that you're having to attend to. And you have tools and you know how to deal with them, but it's the consistent over and over and over again having to constantly attend to the triggers that we have noticed wearing down on the people we've been interacting with, and namely Veronica. So as you are dealing with triggers after triggers after triggers, it's a sense of, drowning. Help, let me out. I know what to do, but God, is there a breaking point? Is there a place where I get to have a rest? And part of what's going on here is that as you leave the landing and you start to walk up the next staircase in this ongoing analogy we've been using for the transformational time you're in, you have to clear out, you have to let go, you have to finally break those neural pathways and those habitual responses within you. And one of the real good ways to do that is to just keep pounding, literally pounding the trigger until you change it so frequently that it actually breaks within you. Its hold on you is broken. So part of the reason you guys are getting literally pounded is that is helping to loosen the grip that these habits and these neural pathway responses have on you. Now, that's all well and good, but it's hard. And it's painful, and it's challenging, and it's frustrating, and it's discouraging, and it's draining, and it's a lot of other things too. And we recognize that, and what we want to help you with tonight is giving you some energetic support for that journey, and also letting you know that it's not that you've somehow failed and gone back to the beginning, and oh God, it hasn't been this hard in a long time, as much as it's really just scraping the bottom of the barrel and getting the last little bits off. It's like you're washing the dishes and one of them set out overnight and there's all those hard crusty bits that are stuck on the side. And you want the dish to be clean, and so you have to do some elbow grease to get those hard crusty bits off. In essence, these last patterns that we see you guys loosening it now are very similar to that. And a lot of these patterns that you guys are dealing with are very core issues that you feel like you've dealt with 5,000 times. And here they are again, and here they are again in rapid succession. And it's like you just want to say, what, have I done nothing? Am I a failure? Has all this work been for nothing, that it's this challenging now? And what we see is you're just really getting to the root of the issue. You're really getting to the root of the issue. And you couldn't have gotten to the root of the issue without the work you'd already done. And by getting to the root of the issue, you're freeing yourself from the issue, eventually, and soon. But energetically, you just need a little bit of support and a little help with the elbow grease to dislodge the final aspects of these things that are holding on to you. So if we took the time to go around the circle and have you each list off the big challenges that you tend to experience, and you know, it might be money, it might be health, it might be relationships, it might be you know, authority figures, whatever yours is, we would imagine you'd also be able to talk about how it seems like it's really up right now and you're having more triggers for it and it's more intense. Well, we're really just pushed up against a wall, so it's not a very good time to give up, because you're giving up right at the end. But we understand the urge to give up because you're also in a very intense time. And it is like you've done the whole big sink full of dishes and you get to the last one and it's got all those crusty bits and you think, I'm tired of doing dishes, thank you very much, I want to be done. Well, just like if you stop and you don't do that final dish, you can feel kind of like, oh, well, the kitchen doesn't look completely clean. You can also imagine that if you stopped just now, it would be challenging to feel like you'd actually accomplished what you came here to accomplish. Now, the kitchen idea kind of breaks down eventually, and so we don't want to take these examples too literally, but it's a pretty good one for the meantime. So the invitation here is to stay the course, but to stay the course with an awareness that the reason your core stuff is up is because you're really getting down to releasing those pathways and the habits that you've had around them. And that's why it comes up. It comes up because you're getting to the root of it. That's mostly what we wanted to share with you tonight. If you feel like it's up and up and up and up for you, it's because you're really getting down, down, down to the root of it now. And so the request that that's being made of you is to stay the course, pay attention, and to recognize that you haven't gone back to square one. You're actually very, very close to starting a new path, starting a new time, starting a new adventure. But you have to finish up a few things before you are ready to make that transition. Okay?